highlights of the Spar Women's Challenge Mbombela are proudly brought to you by Spar and Athletics South Africa. For the first time, a Spar Grand Prix Challenge race is being held in Mbombela, Mpumalanga, a city with a proud road running tradition built over many years through developing champion athletes, hosting famous races, and building a strong running community of clubs. The rolling hills and mild winters of the region attract visitors from all over the world, mainly because Mbombela is the gateway to one of Africa's most famous game reserves, the Kruger National Park, and its numerous renowned satellite private game lodges. Phil Mamane is Managing Director of the Lowveld Spar Distribution Centre that staged the event.
I think what is really important is that we work hard and we grow the confidence of women out there and make women believe that they can actually be and do anything they want to be, and grow that confidence to rise above their circumstances and rise above anything that's going on around us and really excel at being themselves.
The venue for the third Spar Grand Prix race in 2022 is the Mbombela Soccer Stadium, built for the 2010 FIFA World Cup and now a multi-sport venue. A local marimba band sets the scene for a happy, fun-filled morning as the 400 participants get ready for their big race. Stephen Mavromatis is the race technical consultant of the local organizing committee, which is tasked with, among many other things, designing the route.
We're extremely grateful to Spar, the main sponsors, for considering the Lowveld in Mpumalanga, where the sun rises. We are really excited. The race has been going for many years and we've monitored the Grand Prix and we're privileged to have it here in our city, our capital city of Mbombela. We're starting at our Mbombela Stadium, which is the current Currie Cup holders, by the way, the Puma's home ground, and as well as the place for the New Zealand Test. So we are proud to have the stadium and be able to use the stadium. It is the beginning and the end of our 10-kilometer route, and they go up a small incline through the John Dooley district and the Matsafini district, which is the local community that is here, which are incidentally very involved with the setup and this race. They'll take a slow gradient to the highest point in the race at about 2.4 kilometers. They'll head over a little plateau and then down a little monster hill, which we fondly call Heartbreak Hill because they've got to come back that way. So on the way there, they'll be picking up some really good speed. At about 2.5 kilometers, the first water point will be there. The elites won't be using that, it's still too early in the race, but there are 250 other lady athletes that will probably need water at about 2.5. They'll cross the Crocodile River and traverse the Hall & Sons property, which is famous for its citrus production back from the 70s all the way through to the 80s, 90s, and even now. Now they're into a bit more avo and pecan nuts. They'll go through the orchards on the main road, full road closure. They'll get to the 5-kilometer turnaround point, which is also the second water point, which is manned by one of our host clubs. We have 2 athletic clubs that are hosting the race. They'll then turn around and follow the exact same route back, bearing in mind that at 7 kilometers they've got Heartbreak Hill again, up onto the plateau and then down back and into the stadium. We're hoping that the lead runners will set a good time. We're not expecting any record breaking due to the altitude that we currently sit at. We're not at sea level here. And secondly, it is quite a hilly route, and that's part and parcel of Nelspruit.
After the playing of the national anthem and led by the elite athletes, the runners set off at their own set speeds. Athletes chasing big prize money and Grand Prix points are in the front, followed by numerous local club runners eager to enjoy the atmosphere of a women's only race. Many of them are dressed for the occasion in colorful outfits, and some even have personalized race numbers. Ahead of everyone is a challenging 10-kilometer route out and back with a turn point at the halfway mark. Faster runners will aim for a sub-40-minute finish, while others are hoping to break the 1-hour barrier. At the back of the field, the walkers make their way along, enjoying the perfect warm, wind-free Lowveld morning. For these women, simply completing the distance will be a goal in itself. Across South Africa, community fitness groups have been set up to encourage women to exercise regularly, building not only fitness and health, but community spirit as well. Road races are designed to cater for everyone equally. Slower runners and walkers enjoy the same privileges as the elites, and right now a group of more than 10 athletes is together up front. Adele Broodryk of Marion Roberts is running with previous Grand Prix winners Helalia Johannes and Tadu Nare. Both in the green of the Nedbank Club, the red colours of Boxer are also prominent at the early stage. Johannes has had a tough week.
I cannot explain, maybe because of the hard training of marathon, or I don't know. I just felt sick after long run on Saturday. Sunday I felt sick. I was having migraine headache whereby I was vomiting, and I found myself in the hospital on the drip for 3 hours. And Monday I didn't train also. I just had a bad week. For me, I just run as I can, because whenever I came to the competition, I never wait for anyone to work for me. I just run my race. The Commonwealth game, I'm going to run according to the plan game that I will given to my coach. We are going to plan for the game, and I will also listen to my body, because I don't know how will I feel, but I'm willing to do my best at the Commonwealth game.
Broodryk is now at the back of the group as Johannes and Nare lead the way. Glenrose Kaba and Kesa Molosane are now well positioned, as are Tlaquisile Sosibo, Caroline Mandu and Lebo Palula. Previous Grand Prix winner Kaba is running her first Spar Women's Challenge of the year.
I'm feeling very happy to be back to run with the ladies. I was missing them a lot. I'm feeling very much happy to take part in the Spar Ladies Grand Prix. I'm looking forward to do those ones that are left, all of them. My plan was going with them and maybe to try to be in the top 3. Unfortunately, I did not make it in the top 3, but I'm grateful with the position and I'm very happy. I'm looking forward to improve to the next race.
As the leaders move towards the halfway mark, we shift to the Woodhouse facility in the shadow of the stadium. Here we find the Sesi Lomkhulu Foundation, which assists local young girls with toiletries, school uniforms, stationery plus mentorship and guidance, essential tools in a rural community such as this. This is part of SPAR's End Gender-Based Violence campaign to raise awareness of the scourge. Anthea Ngubani and Jacqueline Burns explain.
I didn't want to be like a mother completely, more like a sister figure. And I've been privileged to have partners like Jackie and a few other ladies who fill that same role. So we are big sisters to these girls. We provide them, like I was saying, with mentorship and coaching. And the main reason I started was also because there's a huge need just for guidance for young girls in rural communities, and also sanitary towels.
The foundation started in 2014.
Sesi Lomkhulu is based at Woodhouse, which is a community centre in the Woodhouse-Matafin area, and they allow us to use space here to meet with our girls. But they are open majority every single day as a drop-in centre and a feeding centre and a creche. They look after a lot of kids in the community, and it feeds into our system. So once the girls are from 12, they join Sesi Lomkhulu. So they can't necessarily come to the centre every day, but they join our community then.
I think I'm most proud, for me belonging is very important, that the girls know they belong. You know, they know that they have a place, they have a safe space. We're backing them, you know, they're not alone. They don't have to go through this world alone or deal with the challenges alone, that we're here for them.
They have space to hold in a room, in a classroom, on a field. They own it as much as a boy does, but it's difficult to do that if they don't know they have someone just standing behind them. A bigger sister, bigger sisters amongst themselves even. It makes a huge difference, just knowing you have a community and a tribe to hold you and to protect you and to encourage you.
It's obviously been slow in trying to get that message across to the girls that you are now in a position to help somebody. It doesn't have to be materialistically, it doesn't have to be, just be there, just make sure you're there. So we've had girls, Jackie's actually had this great initiative of having some of her girls mentor groups of the younger girls. So we have one of our girls who's not here today, Luyanda Lukumbo, she's just gone off to a tertiary institution. She would check in with the grade 11 girls, I think those were her girls, what study guides do you need? How do we assist you? How do we aid you? So the support that she got a few years ago, she provides that support to some of our younger girls. And yeah, just they are our eyes and our ears in this community. We don't live in the community, unfortunately. So they would let us know, there's a girl we're worried about. She was out quite late at the tavern last night. Maybe you just need to chat to her. So that kind of just, just keeping an eye and just looking out for each other within the community. That is the support.
9 runners are still together as the halfway mark approaches. Johannes, Nare, Salam Gebre have Kaba, Sisibo, Mulutsane, Brotreik and Mandu for company. Lebogang Palula is also in the group and, like the other top local runners, welcomes the internationals.
With the international runners, I don't have a problem with them. Can you please invite more if you can, so that we South African, we can run our best and PBs and season best. So I'm not going to complain so much more with the international runners, but I'm so happy for them to be in our country because they're giving us a good opportunity to run our best races. Because if we're going to count them away, we South African will think that we are the best by winning the races with time of 34 and 33s. But now they are winning the races with 31. It shows that if we can push more harder in training and run like them, we can. So please invite them.
The lead pack was closing in on the turnaround point at 5Ks, the lowest point of the course. As they turn, they will see how far ahead of the chasers they are, useful in assessing chances of a top 20 finish. Soon, the steep hill up to the 8-kilometer mark will start, and this is where the real racing will begin. It took Johannes and the others 17 minutes to reach this point, relatively slow by their standards. Johannes, Nare, Gebre, Kaba, Sosibo, Mandu, Mulutsane and Lebo Palula make up this group, all of them eager to stay in touch as long as possible. Big prize money for today's race plus valuable Spar Grand Prix points are at the top of their minds right now. And as they reach 6Ks, Helalia is still setting the pace. But Tadunare winner in Durban is hot on her heels. Salam Gebre enjoyed the Spar race experience once again.
I'm very happy with the race. I'm building up my pace as I'm racing with the top racers, and I'm gaining experience at the same time. So it was, all in all, it was a good race for me. But the one question that I have is if it is possible for the other races to be on a flat land, maybe not for them not to have ups and downs, because it was a bit challenging for me, that part here.
For our profile piece insert, we move out of Mbombela into the Msogwaba Trust area in the Ehlanzeni region to the Definition Athletics Club, home to a remarkable development initiative. Coach Boeki Gama has had a stellar career, including international recognition and being awarded Mpumalanga's Legend Coach of the Year in 2021. Today we meet his protege, a brilliant junior runner, Sheba Sithole, whom he has sculpted into arguably South Africa's top young track and cross-country talent.
I identified Sheba when she was at primary school here, around here. Then I requested the parent to help the kid develop the talent. But unfortunately, the parents are both not working. So I'm trying to support Sheba and getting good schools for Sheba. As we speak now, Sheba is attached at the World School Nelspruit, where they are giving support. And I'm working with a coach at the World School Nelspruit. We are working together. We are trying to develop the talent for Sheba.
There are a number of other girls in the group apart from Sheba.
Come again, guys. Sheba, you're going to start. Take it easy first, not too fast. Make sure you don't touch my hurdles.
Sheba herself has blossomed into a fine athlete, scoring notable wins at the National Junior Cross Country Championships before the COVID lockdown started.
I felt very inspired when I saw athletics running, like when I was watching Olympics at home. And I felt also like I had my body's good also for running. So that's when I started running, and I felt the moment that if I can also train hard, I think it's gonna be good also for me to run. So Boeki Gama is my coach, he's my personal coach. He got me when I went for a camp on the 9th of December in 2017. he started training me and he started giving me everything that I needed for athletics, and he gave me a good training for each and every time that I needed for athletics.
The transition to big city schools was a challenge for her, coming from a rural area into a modern educational environment. Key to her success was continued support from Boyki, plus understanding from the schools involved. Now it's working out fine.
She is a hard worker, so we are looking forward because ever since she was on these two schools, she never failed. So she's promising, although she's a hard worker and struggling as well.
After her successes in 2018 and 2019, COVID struck and competition stopped. So what are her goals as she looks at her long-term career?
I'm aiming for being the first black girl in South Africa to be first in 1,500 meters and 800 meters, to be chosen in South Africa and represent South Africa in overseas. And from then, I want to come back and train hard for the upcoming Olympics.
The Definition Club is a fine community of athletes who are not short of trophies for their efforts, including national titles and many other accolades. The group share in one another's successes.
My role model is that I want to be Caster Semenya because she's a good athlete. She did the race that I want to do and the races that I want to win. So she's showing me a way to being a good athlete and to being a fast girl, and she's showing me everything. So I want to be just like her. She's my role model.
Boyki is the heart and soul of this amazing initiative and its group of fun young people. As they drive around the area, their camaraderie and positive outlook is infectious. But in these areas, teenagers face numerous challenges such as drugs, crime and pregnancy. But even in the testing times, Boyki is always positive.
My vision with the athletics here, I won't say athletics alone, but I will say sport. I can tell you right now, we've got young stars that are in the location now. They are busy with drugs, they are busy with pregnancy, teenage pregnancy, they are busy with crime, gangsterism. So I think this is an initiative to try and bring those youngsters to sports, because sports is the only way that they can keep themselves busy.
As the top three approach the final 2 kilometers, the pressure is building on long-time race leader Johannes. Her younger rival, Nare, is hoping to repeat her tactic in Durban, which was to surge strongly near the end, hoping to break the Namibia's rhythm, and at 8 kilometers, that's exactly what happens, a strong surge. Now we really have a race on our hands as Johannes seems to be holding on. In fact, the 41-year-old veteran from Namibia is actually closing the gap and looks like being back on level terms with a much younger rival. Johannes, who won the Spar.run Prix in 2019, certainly knows how to race. The gap narrows to just 1 second as they approach the 9-kilometer marker. In Durban, Nare's surge was too much for her rival. Nare explains her tactics.
It was a plan to push myself and Helele at the same time. I tried to move out a bit to see if she's going to catch up on the 8th kilometer, and not long after she came and caught up with me. So I waited a little bit to see if she's going to sprint and move out, but she didn't. So I went a little bit more again to see if she's going to catch up. So I just gave it all 100% and just moved out.
And that's good enough to give the young runner from Ethiopia her second straight Spar.run Prix win. As expected, the race exploded into action after the halfway mark, the big hills on the second half are being crucial. Even though she's not a fan of hilly courses, Tadu Nare shows that she can overcome hills, altitude and some of the strongest runners from across Africa. In the coastal Spar races, times of well under 32 minutes are the norm. But in the challenging conditions here at medium altitude, Nare still manages to produce a winning time of under 33 minutes, her second half being more than a minute quicker than her first 5 kilometers.
2 minutes and 40 seconds, unofficially And Prix does exactly what she did.
A tired-looking Helalia Johannes arrives at the finish line 19 seconds later. Given her earlier medical issues and the fact that she's training for the Commonwealth Games marathon, underline the brilliance of her run today. And it's easy to forget that she's a veteran runner, certainly one of the very best over 40s in the world. In the third place comes the next Nedbank runner, Junior Salam Gebre, marking her third consecutive podium finish this year. Tadu spoke to us later.
To be honest with you, it was a great race because I've been preparing for the Great Marathon, so I've been pushing myself extra hard. So it was a good preparation, so it wasn't that hard for me today. It was a good race for me.
I'm very much happy because I was not expecting also to run like this. And I'm always happy with my performance, yeah.
Glenrose and 33 minutes and 30 seconds.
First South African is boxers Glenrose Kaba in fourth place, and just 7 seconds later, we see Samulutsane cross the finish line.
That is a time of 33 minutes and 40 seconds.
I'm grateful about the race of today because I have been not doing the road running training. I was focusing on track and field. I'm very much happy to be back and be on the top spot again.
I am happy with my performance this morning because I came with a better plan, you know. I approach each route differently, and I think my plan coming into the race panned out really well, and I am happy that at least one step at a time I'm still climbing up the ladder on the Grand Prix and hoping to make it to a better position than where I currently am at the moment.
One of the most improved runners on the road this year has been the evergreen Lebo Palula, who comes 6th and 3rd South African in 33.57. Not surprisingly, she is pretty happy with her form.
Yeah, I am very happy with the race, but it was very challenging. Those hills, I just told myself, when I go down, I must remember, I still have to come up. And when coming up, it was most difficult, but I just said to myself, let me do my best, let me run my race. Where I get tired, I must get tired on the finish line, but I did enjoy my race today.
Early race leader Adele Broodryk eventually grabs an excellent 9th place in 35.16. The rest of the top performers come through in quick succession. Lebo's twin sister Lebogang Palula ends up 10th in 35.34 to give boxer another excellent result.
I'm so happy with today's race. I did enjoy my race, but I had some little problem with my injuries. I'm trying to make a comeback, but so far so good. I would like to thank Spar ladies for making such a good races for athletes.
Then come the age group runners, and second over 40 is Mari and Roberts runner Yanni Grindeling in 36.35, also an excellent 12th spot overall.
This year, Comrades is in the mix, so it does bring a bit of a game changer to the vets category because most of us are running Comrades. So we've got one Grand Prix left, and then it's Comrades. So it might change the outcome in the end, like the last two, because it will be post-Comrades. So yeah, it's exciting this year. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what to know. I don't know what to expect.
Tadunare takes another fine victory in 32.43 with teammates Johannes and Gebre once again on the podium. Kaba celebrated her return to Spar competition with her 4th spot. Others in the top 10 include Caroline Mandu of Maxed Elite and Katlisile Sosibo of Boxer. With just 8 runners breaking 35 minutes, it's clear that the hills took their toll. In the age group categories, Johannes in the over 40s and Gebre amongst the juniors are both on the overall podium. Ronald Thomas of Boxer did well to win the over 50s category in 40.14, while the perennial winner of the over 60s category, Judy Bird, won again, this time in 42.06. Finally, Tadunare moves into the top spots in the Spar Grand Prix leaderboard with Johannes and Gebre close behind. Kesa Molozani and Caroline Mandu complete the top 5. With 3 races to go, things are beginning to take shape. But there's more to a Spar Women's Challenge than the top athletes. For the next hour, runners and walkers come home, each after a personal journey of fun, fitness and friendship, and with some strange spectators. Our final word comes from Mbombela's executive mayor.
We're very excited and honored to be hosting this event. Now, we usually call ourselves the ultimate destination. That's part of our mission and vision. So it basically says to us that we're now living the dream because you have allowed us and honored us to present and ensure that this race is happening here. But also to the community, particularly those aspiring runners, I think it motivates them more so that they see that they can have their names on top there on the billboards as well.
With the Mpumalanga sun shining brightly on our top 3, we invite everyone to join us for the next Spar Women's Challenge in Tshwane, Saturday, the 6th of August. We'll see you there, so it's cheers for now. These highlights of the Spar Women's Challenge Mbombela are proudly brought to you by Spar and Athletics South Africa.